Hi, I'm Ian Bush, CEO and founder of Artist Guitars. Today I'm going to explain to you about the different types of power supplies that you can buy and their advantages and disadvantages. So the first type of power supply is just a simple battery. So a battery has some advantages and it has some disadvantages. The first advantage is it's nice and cheap. And the second advantage is that a battery actually has no AC noise on it. So if you do have a noisy pedal from any AC noise, a battery can actually be a good option. Also, if you're using batteries, you won't get earth looping problems. So if you have 4 or 5 pedals all running on batteries, you won't be likely to have an earth loop issue. But it does have some major disadvantages. The first disadvantage is that batteries run out. And secondly, you're going to spend a lot of money using batteries if you have to replace them every time that they run out. So the next type of supply that we use is just a simple wall wart power supply like this Joyo JP03. So when you're using a wall wart power supply, this advantage is that it never runs out of power, and it can power multiple pedals using a daisy chain. Now, the disadvantage of using this type of power supply is that when you're using a daisy chain with it, the length of cable to each different pedal is a different length. Now, it's that length difference that can cause earth loops and earth hums. So this is the most basic type of power supply. The next choice is something like this, which is a hub power supply, and this is the Joyo JP01. So the advantage of the JP01 is that it's a hub power supply. So what that means is that each pedal has its own cable coming out of the power supply. So all the lengths of cables are exactly the same. And that means that you're less likely to get earth loops and earth hums. The disadvantage of this power supply is that if any one of these power supplies, one of the pedals has a problem, it's going to knock out the whole power supply because it's just one big power supply. The next choice we have is an individual power supply like the Joyo JP02. So the advantage of the JP02 is that it has 8 individual outputs. So what that means is that each output has its own control, and if any one of these outputs goes out, it doesn't cause the whole power supply to stop working. But the disadvantage is that those outputs are not isolated. So you can have an earth loop because all of these earths are tied to the same level. And the biggest power supply of all is the Joyo JP04. The advantage of the JP04 is that it has 8 isolated outputs. That's a bit like having 8 different power supplies in the one unit. And because they're isolated, that means that earths are not connected together. So when you're connecting this to your pedal, each pedal is not affected by the earth of the other unit. And that's the best power supply you can use if you're having any earth hum or earth loop problems. So these are the main types of power supplies that you can use, and their advantages and disadvantages. Thanks for watching our video today on the main types of power supplies that you can choose. If you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments below.